Red moon rising. Although I think that's probably from pollution or desert in the air. But the moon does appear rather red. The sun was rather red upon its, not the sunset, but just even the medium sunset. It was very red. What does red mean? What is a blood moon? A blood sun? What is God gonna do with California? The state at which I walk right now is in a position where, the hand of God can be removed when people allow for evil to take over. Like, let's take Gavin Newsom. So they just stole the election again. And everybody's like, well, pretty corrupt. They just stole it. What am I gonna do? But then they sit there. So God's like, okay. So you're letting the bad guys take over. So now the good guys have to take back what is good. We get Lot and his family out of Sodom and Gomorrah. Are you guys gonna hang out in Sodom and Gomorrah? Like, you understand what's going on here? Oh, I love what they did there. That's cute. T-shirts are that's cute. I love this place. I love Escondido. I love the Mexican influence here and the Mexican food. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And a lot of the people here in Escondido and in San Diego, they're not American. So there is a sense of like, because there's a lot of people that literally they work here and then they live in what's the Mexican city that's just across the border? They just go across the border and they have like cheap rent there, and then they work at these super high-paying jobs for Mexican living standard prices. Pretty smart business plan, if you ask me. Probably pay like $100 rent, and then you come here and you work and you make like American wages, and you go back to Mexico. Maybe the commute's a little longer, but pretty cool. But all that being said, the state of California is in trouble. And I'm very fortunate and very blessed, and I'm being healed just by being here in San Diego this last couple weeks. The fight in Hawaii was really intense. But I wonder, like, the warning for America, the warning for the church Christians that are like, well, I guess it's just another day, Well, no, there are huge things being announced. China just said, well, we are fine-tuning. We're changing our idea about how we talk about the first strike policy with nuclear weapons. That's huge. That's getting down to like World War III stuff. Like, yeah, we might just attack. If we think that Australia is taken over by bad guys, which it is, Australia is now totally insane. Well, we might just have to nuke Australia. We might have to nuke the west coast of America. We might have to nuke Hawaii. I don't know. I mean, I think that God might allow certain things to happen because of the wickedness, where people just let pure evil take over. And where are those that fear the Lord and who seek the Lord? Hard to find. In Hawaii, hard to find. There's a lot of people that are like info warriors. But are there people who are really seeking God, looking for God, hungry for God? I don't know. Don't see him too much. Another day as usual. And I might be jumping the gun here too, saying like, well, God's going to judge America. We've been saying that for a long time. But sometimes just saying it, sometimes just screaming really loud gets people to be like, oh, whoa, yeah, sorry, I was asleep at the wheel. Thanks for waking me up. But at this point, I think we can see that really the bad guys, they've initiated the kill shot. They've initiated their plan for a new world order. And the Christians are just sort of kind of waking up. They're like, well, my pastor decided to still have church in the parking lot. Well, you're still having church in the sense of the church system. Oh, we got to go gather at the barn. Well, maybe we need to have a system in place where we secretly form smaller groups in people's houses with 5 to 10 people, and we really genuinely seek the Lord. Like, I do better in a group with 5 people where we're just fellowshipping and praying and sharing visions than 100 people where we all have to look at one dude, and it's like, well, why don't I just watch this guy on YouTube while I make a few $100s at a landscaping job? I mean, what's the difference? Like, we're all sitting here. We're not talking to each other. We're just watching some dude on the stage. Might as well be on Zoom or YouTube. But what if all churches were thinking, okay, they're coming. We've got to have a plan. We've got to have everything in place. This is Acts all over again. This is our chance. Finally, we can really die for our faith or lose our livelihood for our faith. Best thing ever that can happen for your faith. You get the opportunity. We should be joyful that we have the opportunity to suffer shame for his name. Do you know how great the Lord is? And how rare it is to really suffer shame for his name, unless you're like running around Walmart yelling at people with a Bible, whapping them over the head. I mean, just to have your little church Bible study and for that to be persecuted is a glory. Like, okay, have a big stunt, get arrested, go to church. But after that, no, you can't meet in your houses. Wow. They're arresting us for just meeting in our houses? This is literally where I just came from in Hawaii. Here in California, people are like, well, it's a little bit more loose here, but every time I go to a coffee shop, it says, make sure you don't come in here if you didn't take the shot. There's a sign, but you barge in there without a mask and nothing, and nobody says anything, but it's in place. You understand? The bars are being set, and it might not be time here for San Diego yet, but they're putting the bars there. They're locking them down. They're screwing them in. And everybody's like, well, it's just another day. I guess I can just go to work and just make a buck so I can pay for my mortgage and my car payments. Meanwhile, God is opening heaven. And I talked to Gil Hodges today. I hope to meet people in Virginia and South Carolina, as we might travel to North Carolina soon. Might, don't know, living by faith. And the focus over there with the Kingdom Talks people is really seeking the Lord, getting healing. It's not focusing on the news, and it's not focusing on this information war, which I tend to bounce off of a lot. If you haven't noticed, like, we're kind of on the street, like doing our internet stuff at Walmart and McDonald's as we travel. We're definitely we're like the street people. But I really appreciate Gil and all the mystics for just saying, look, we need to focus on the Lord and what God is doing and not just what the enemy's doing all the time. I appreciate that. And I will do my best to behave myself when among such leaders, as long as they acknowledge the fact that this is not another day in the walk in the park. Like, this is it. Like, they're saying you can't have church. You can't have a family. You can't meet unless you have this vaccine. So I can't ignore that, but by all means, if you have the power to look beyond all that stuff, wow, good job. Hey, how are you? Good. Making a YouTube video here. God bless you. I believe the days are coming when you'll see the abilities of those that step into the secret place of the Most High merge with those that walk on the street. And are dealing with this stuff like firsthand. And that's going to be a great day. Like, it's usually people are like, well, we're going to die. You know, Pastor Paul Begley, oh, we're going to go to the concentration camps. I had a dream back in 1995. We're all in concentration camps and they're breaking your faith. Well, wouldn't it be great if people had a vision of angels and like supernatural abilities to not lose their faith in that situation? But no, there's no vision of that. And then you step across the street to the Mystic Conference, which I literally did. And this will be the end of the video as there's road work going on. And those people are like, well, you know, just don't pay attention to the news. And it's like, well, God's so good. He can do this, this, this. Well, when do we connect those two worlds? So that's what we're trying to do. And that's what I endeavored to do. And I love you. I'm going on over to Walmart to get some cleaning supplies, and we shall return. Woo! Appreciate your prayers. Thank you for your support. We've had some just random donations recently, which is really, really a blessing. Look, I'm not here trying to, asking for money. It's just that we do a lot of work that we're not getting paid for. And maybe we need to tweak our business model a little better. But thank you so much. Patreon is there. And faithbucks.com. Still working on it every day. Hallelujah. Expect miracles. Expect miracles, because as the world is going down, there is Lartree. Lartree. I always knew one day I'd go to Lartree and get myself a lar for my tree. Okay, sorry. Basham humor is rather different. Have a good old one, and we'll be back very soon. Stay strong for Jesus.